This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne. What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Well, just like yesterday, another busy Wyoming Sports Talk Today. Just to preview for you, we will be hearing the Craig Bowl press conference momentarily. We also had a chance to catch up with head basketball coach Alan Edwards. We'll also have our LCCC Coaches Show. Brian Ortmeier along with Jason Ficca joining us. And a couple of players, Hayden Collier and I do believe Gabi O'Connor from the ladies' side will be joining us here this afternoon on our program, which is being brought to you by Taco John's of Cheyenne. Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service on Highway 30, still having their hail of a sale. Chick-fil-A at the corner, Windmill and Dell Range, directly across from Menards. Kia of Cheyenne, over on Nationway, where I say hey to my good friends Greg and A.J. Miller and the entire crew over there at Kia of Cheyenne. Platte Valley Bank, 2 banking locations for you, corner of College and Pershing, and the original location on Vandehigh. Medicap Pharmacy, for all your pharmaceutical needs, same location on Bluegrass Circle, right next door to Texas Roadhouse. Lennox Auto Body, the main auto and truck repair center on Dunn Avenue, founded by Dick Lennox and Tradition carried on by daughter Heather Lennox. And they also have for you the Auto Glass and Detail Center to take care of vehicles as well over on Pershing. First Tier Bank at 1508 Stillwater Avenue, open Monday through Friday. Across the street, open 7 days a week. It's Mondello's Pizzeria Paisan Cuisine at its best here in this community. Joe Mondello family and great crew, always going to take good care of you. 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. And Marv's Plumbing Heating. It is a little bit chilly out there. Get those heating units looked at. Maybe just need a filter. They'll do that for you. Marv's Plumbing Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue. And we get our program underway always with our scoreboard, and it's brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. Here's Nick.
NHL action for tonight. Vancouver Canucks in Boston at the TD Garden taking on the Boston Bruins. You also too see the Florida Panthers at home hosting the Edmonton Oilers. Arizona Coyotes in Wells Fargo Center taking on the Philadelphia Flyers. Montreal Canadiens hosting the Buffalo Sabres at Central Bell Center. Ottawa Sens at home. They will host the Vegas Golden Knights coming up. New York Islanders traveling down south to take on the Tampa Bay Lightning. And then also to the Carolina Hurricanes. They'll travel to Chicago to take on the Blackhawks at the United Center. Dallas Stars at home hosting the San Jose Sharks. And the Minnesota Wild in Staples taking on the L.A. Kings. So that's what's happening. NHL action for tonight.
On the National Football League schedule, the Carolina Panthers, 6-2, will invade Heinz Field. They will take on the Pittsburgh Steelers, 5-2-1. So we'll have that game on Fox for tonight. NBA will have 4 games on the schedule. The Rockets to the Thunder at the Chesapeake Energy Arena in OKC. Celtics and the Suns at the Talking Stick Resort Arena in Phoenix. At the Moda Center, the Trailblazers in Portland hosting the Los Angeles Clippers. And the Warriors will be in action tonight at the Oracle, where they are undefeated, and they will host the Milwaukee Bucks. Matter of fact, if I look at the Warriors, I think they're 5-0 at home. So, again, they'll have a date with Milwaukee, who comes in with pretty good numbers, 8-2 early this season. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
This is the Pepsi that's got a date with your taste buds. We're talking 1,000 bubbles dancing a two-step with you and 2 tacos at 2 a.m.
Order number 83. Come on, you're up.
This is the Pepsi that has mastered the art of the late-night munchies and is always down to dig into some deep dish.
Hey, we don't do deep dish, capiche?
Try telling that to Chicago. This is the Pepsi for po' boys, pulled pork sliders, and the godfather of all sandwiches, the Godfather. This is the Pepsi for street carts, anything a la carte, and is dying to make the leap into your grocery cart. Come on, take us home with you. This is the Pepsi for those who are forever fun. This is the Pepsi for every generation.
You're listening to Cheyenne's new Sports Talk Authority. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today on AM 1480 KRAE.
Afternoon, everybody. We're in the midst of a bye week. We use those times to make sure that we continue to improve as a football team, and then also do some preparation for Air Force, and along with that, some recruiting. It's some reflections on Saturday's game. Certainly, I think the weather elements played into our favor. We'd been practicing outside. It's hard to replicate those elements, and I think our team adapted to that well. However, I will say we were sloppy handling the football, and that needs to improve. It needs to improve significantly if we have an opportunity to beat Air Force. Certainly, Sean Chambers continues to make some big plays. I think the fact that you have, two runners in the backfield that can run over 100 yards a game, that really stresses the defense. We did reel back some of our passes simply because of the wind we were going into. We thought that it probably wouldn't be advantageous to be throwing the football into some sleet and wind. We would like to throw the football more. However, we had a recipe that we needed to do to win. Defensively, I thought we had unbelievable control of the game in the first half. I don't know how many 3-and-outs we had, but it was pretty impressive. And so between our offense staying on the field and our defense getting those 3-and-outs, I thought at halftime even the score was not reflective of where we were at. Had pretty good control of the game. Credits San Jose State. I thought they came out in the second half and had made some adjustments, moved the football down the field. They really utilized their tight end well, and that posed some problems for us, but our defensive guys rallied around. It was really encouraging to see our offense go, I think, 75 yards for a touchdown when we needed it, and we'll build off of that. A good win. We certainly can play better. I think San Jose State is a better football team than their record indicates, and a lot of my colleagues had mentioned that. That was true. Since I've been our head coach, we haven't beat them. And so I don't think anybody on our staff, even Pete Caligas, had. So they kind of had our number, and it was great to come up with a win there. Our football team, I think is pretty doggone healthy right now. Miles Williams, a special teams player, had a concussion. We're in hopes to have him back for the Air Force week, but we'll play that as we go. Still no status change on C.J. Colden. We're in hopes to have him back, but his strength still lacking a little bit. Rocket, I would think it'd be probable with a bye week that we'll have him back as well. And so that's kind of where we're at. It'll be great to have Carl Granderson back for the Air Force game. We always support players, when there's a death in the family. And so it'll be great to have him back today. Today we'll spend our time in meetings. We'll do some weightlifting. We'll go on the field some, but there will be limited activity today. So at this time, questions? Yes, Robert.
Obviously, you've been running the ball very well with Nico and Sean the last few games, but what have you also seen from the offensive line? I know you had Watson there, but then Harris came in, but have you seen some more just better continuity, or what have you seen exactly from your line to help open some of those holes and be so productive?
Well, one of the things that we've seen is we've had man-on-man. There's been fewer blocking errors, and that comes into some continuity. And along with that, we're getting movement, getting defensive linemen displaced. And anytime you can displace down guys, that poses challenges for the linebackers and safety men if they're fitting, i.e. on Nico's run. That was a case right there, and he broke into the secondary, had a long run. And so we'll need to continue to do that. So kind of a twofold, observation. One, more continuity, and we're getting better. I mean, I believe this: football teams don't stay the same. They either get better or they get worse, and there's no doubt in my mind we're getting better. And I even saw that during the course of the Utah State game. And Utah State's turned out to be a pretty good football team right now. So the trajectory is headed the right way. We'll be challenged by Air Force, but I like where we're at right now.
Recruiting-wise this week, how many coaches will you send out? Where will you go? What are you allowed to do, recruiting-wise right now?
We can do scholastic evaluations or in-game evaluations. There's no sit down and talk to where you actually have a contact. So we will scour our areas. Certainly, it's always great for us to have coaches out in certain areas. I do think in our geographical area, we've got a pretty good pulse on where guys are at, so we'll probably stretch our wings a little bit. And not to discount, I'm sure we'll be in Colorado, Wyoming some, Nebraska some. Those are our primary footprint areas. But then, we'll be down in Texas some. We'll be out in California some. We're probably going to be in Chicago some as well.
Will all your assistants be out?
No, not all of them. We'll have a skeleton crew here. Our practice days will be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then we'll have a late afternoon, early evening practice on Saturday. Yes, Robert.
Marcus Epps obviously has been very good for you, but he's also been pretty versatile this year with different matchups and offenses, and also some injuries. He's been playing some corner. How versatile has he been, and what positions has he played, and just how good has he been at kind of playing 2 or 3 multiple positions so far this season?
Well, that's a big challenge that Marcus has really embraced. He's played, safety. He's played in the deep middle. He's played nickel for us. He came here initially as a corner, so he has good athleticism. But beyond that, he's a really bright, insightful player, and so that's given us a great deal of flexibility. It's always hard to double train, but it's kind of where we're at right now, and that's given us the luxury to take Tyler Hall, who we feel like it was an excellent nickel, but also has been now a really good corner on the outside. And so we release a depth chart there. It's been pretty static, but quite frankly, that changes during the course of a game.
It's just a follow-up with Tyler. Again, you mentioned he's been a very good corner and a good nickel. Is he kind of either or depending on opponent down and distance situations? Is he just kind of one of those either or guys?
A little bit, and some of it comes into our game plan, and some of it comes into the team that we're playing, and we're trying to get our best matchups on the field. Yes.
Coach, talk about Sean. You say you want to throw or would like to throw more. Is there any sort of concern that you haven't been able to, just in case it comes up, in these last couple of games, or I guess?
Well, I can tell you this: we need to continue to work in 2-minute. We stubbed our toe there, and I think in another situation probably would have been a little bit different. With the situation dictated once we fumbled the football and then we got way behind the sticks, we just didn't want to put ourselves in position where we're going to give up the football, but we need to improve there. And then the other thing, I think certainly we're play action passing well right now, and the last touchdown was a play action pass. He can throw the ball really well, but I think it's going to be important this week to take another step forward to make sure our playbook is not so narrow, but we're not going to do all the same things we did with Josh, with Sean. We're not, but I think it's going to be important that we expand some.
Does his running ability really open up that play option pass and create things where they can't commit?
I can tell you when your quarterback runs, it changes the whole mindset of a defensive coordinator and a defense, because that's typically, say like in the NFL game, a hat that you don't have to account for. Now you have to account for that guy as far as scrambling, or sometimes you can do some things to where he's going to place the football. But in the college game, when he can run like that, all the run pass option plays, all the play action pass plays, all the things where he's out on a corner, and then also there's no question in my mind some of Nico's success with some of the runs that have popped. Now the linebackers, their eyes have got to be at another place as well. And so anytime you run your quarterback that much, you're always exposing him to injury. But our mindset is we're in a one-game series. And so we're going to run him and then play action when we need to. And that has really been very effective. The play action pass game has come alive simply because of his ability.
The type of situation where if you gauged a pulse a week ago, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, clearly different. Have you noticed a different pulse between players' attitudes, mentalities, the way that they approach the game, from practices to conversation? Now that Sean has kind of taken the helm and becoming a little bit more evolved, I guess, for lack of a better term, game after game after game, and obviously headed into this Air Force matchup next week.
I don't want to overstate his presence because it's a team game. I can tell you that our energy in practice, and that's always a different feeling, but you kind of know it as a coach. Our practice habits, the intensity level of the enthusiasm has continued to improve. Now, I think beyond Sean, there's a lot of other reasons for that, but certainly I think the number of plays that Sean has made has been great. It was interesting in the game. James Price is a guy who caught a lot of balls against Colorado State, did not catch a ball last week, but on Sean's last run, James was shielding somebody and then blocked him and then led Sean into the end zone with great speed. I think our football team, we've got an excited football team right now. And to say that they're 180 degrees difference from what they were a couple weeks ago, I don't know if we could say that, but I know this, we're a heck of a lot different. And like I said, football teams don't stay the same. You either get better or you get worse, and we're getting better. And so the attitude, the enthusiasm, embracing the challenges, and us doing what we can to beat Air Force. And last week, our team was really focused on San Jose State. And so they've been a fun group to work with. Yes.
Obviously, when you bye week's good, but when you face Air Force and that option, that unique offense, seen it and stuff, but to have an extra week, I imagine it's never a bad thing.
Oh no, we probably won't be working on Air Force at all this week, Robert. I'm saying that tongue in cheek. That's Coach Calhoun, and the schemes that they do are really, really challenging. And they've forgotten more about defending the triple option than what we know. And I think we're pretty adept at that, but it's a big, big challenge. And so we'll take advantage of the time that we have. There's no doubt in my mind. Yes.
How has Tyler handled being benched, and what's his attitude been like since being demoted?
It's been good. The times I've talked to Tyler, he's always taking notes. He's paying attention when he's not taking reps. He's been encouraging during plays when the defense is on the field. All the quarterbacks are there. He's been really a great, I wouldn't say cheerleader for Sean, because Sean doesn't necessarily need a cheerleader, but he's been a really good teammate. And I think that's indication of where we're at as a football team. There's not guys out there that don't have a selfish agenda. And we appreciate Tyler. And Tyler's, there may come a time when his services are needed, and he's prepared for that.
And after a few weeks with Dante punting, what have kind of been your thoughts? Have you seen improvement? And I know the play against San Jose where he dropped the ball, but got the first down was a very athletic play. I know we're probably a little too close for you, but how would you just kind of assess his progress since he's become your
he's really got a live leg, and he could boom it before, but now he's booming it more consistently, and so we're excited about that. I also know that certainly, the snap was low. He kind of fumbled it, and he scooped it up, and another guy who didn't have that kind of running ability may not have gotten the first down, and it wasn't like it was any big deal for him. I mean, he just went and ran for the sticks, and so that's a weapon that we maybe need to explore some more. But he does have a really live leg. I mean, in practice, he's been able to really launch him, and we'll continue to work with that. I thought in the Colorado State game that had a big impact in part of our victory, and him taking that fumbled snap or muff snap and getting a first down had a big impact as well. I think, yes.
To see Nico, to go from where he was the last 3 years to being the type of running back he is this year, was there that big a transformation with him from 1 year to the next year?
I would say yes, and that started in the weight room in the winter. Constantly I'd gotten feedback from our strength coaches about his progress, his due diligence, his attention to detail, and then his list began to change. And so our strength coaches had talked to me a couple times, boy, Nico's having a great winter. And there are some guys that make strides in the weight room, and it really doesn't translate to what goes on in the grass. And then he did well in the spring game. And so you kind of started to look. And then, the times during this year, he's got really good vision. And where he has changed is he's got an extra gear. I mean, and he's pulled away, whether it's Boise or last week, time and time again, he's pulled away from defenders. And as you know, I think Boise's got guys that can really run in the second, or he ran away from those guys, and he ran away from the San Jose State guys. And so he's really turned into being an excellent running back, being patient. And I think that Nico is a case in point that goes 180 degrees difference from everybody else right now in college football. If I'm not playing, if I'm not, quote, the man, I'm leaving. And here's a guy that had put his time in, was a reserve running back, was more or less a guy that we utilized on pass protections, hardly ever run. And here's a guy that, waited his turn, and not just waited, he improved, he embraced the opportunity that he was given, and he's an excellent runner, and I think his numbers are bearing that out.
In light of the 3 previous years, has that been maybe the biggest, most pleasant surprise of this season, is to see his?
Whenever you look as a coach, there are guys that you go in and you say, their last year is going to be their best year. And sometimes that's not the case. This is definitely the case for Nico. He has had a great year, and it's heartwarming for me to see a guy who's come in and been a reserve player and not complain, been an ultimate teammate, and now all of a sudden he's enjoying. I'm sure he's getting some national attention. You don't put up those kind of numbers without people taking note, but he's been the ultimate teammate. So that's a case in point of keeping your nose to the grindstone, be a good team player, work your butt off, and good things happen.
Offense sparking defense seems to be a theme that's kind of building. Defensively, are there any deficiencies? I know that there are some passes that kind of get away over the middle on the right side, and I think teams are a lot more cognizant of Sean being able to provide a different dimension offensively. As far as other teams planning and scheming to try to run or on the pass, is there more of a comfort level between either or, pass coverage or stopping the run up front?
I would have to say right now that and we're really going to get tested by Air Force rushing the football. But if you just looked at our numbers and people who have tried to consistently move the ball on the ground, especially lately, that's really not been the case, and it really wasn't against Fresno. I don't think Fresno ran the ball on the ground very well. So you'd have to look and say, okay, we need to make sure that we can play some good pass defense. Now, part of it is how we deploy our guys. Usually we're +1 in the box, and so we're going to say you're going to have to throw the ball, make you have to react to it. And so, we're pleased with where we're at, run defensively wise. We're going to continue to work on that, and I think now we've got to improve probably some things in the back 7. Yeah. Yes.
Cooper Vallis has been still consistent for you this year. What has it been like having that kind of weapon at a kicking spot for you?
Well, it's been really encouraging, and we also knew the first field goal, I think, or the second one. The one was a long one into the wind, was going to be a pretty risky shot, but we felt like he had a good enough leg to get it there, and he missed, I believe, just to the right. A lot of those points have added up, and he's been really consistent. He's owned his work. He spends a great deal of time watching himself. We videotape a lot of his kicks, and so he's been a real student of the game. And he did last week. He did a great job on the kickoff. I think the first kickoff was into the wind, and he put it in the end zone. And so he's been another senior that's really done well.
KYOI FM and 1480 KRAE AM are just that, local, serving Cheyenne and Laramie County, where your advertising dollar stays local too. It doesn't end up in Colorado, Oklahoma, New Hampshire, or even New York. We conduct business here, we shop here, and we live here. And we support our entire community 24/7, 365. Just because it has a window dressing doesn't mean it isn't a facade. A reminder from KYOI and 1480 KRAE.
Come away with more than you expect with the new 2019 Kia Sorento. I'm AJ Miller for Kia of Cheyenne, and with Kia Sorento, you could leave the competition in the dust with a long list of standard features that are usually optional in more expensive rivals. Some available features include lane keeping assist, wireless charging, 8-speed automatic transmission, and 3-row 7-person seating. Come in today and see all that you can get for the money at Kia of Cheyenne. Call 775-0123 or go to kiaofcheyenne.com, and we'll make it easy.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
This morning we can expect partly sunny skies with highs around 32 and winds out of the north at 10 to 15. If it's tonight, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 16 and winds out of the west at 10 to 15 miles per hour. On Friday, it'll be sunny with highs around 35, and on Friday night, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 23.
When it comes to sports talk in Cheyenne, it's a whole new ball game. Let's play ball! You're listening to Wyoming Sports Talk today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Well, remind you, coming up around 3:45, it will be head coach Alan Edwards from the University of Wyoming Cowboys, as we get a chance to chat with him. We talked with Joe Legursky before their win last night. Hey, you never know. Maybe we give them a little luck on this side, and they take it with them up to Corvallis.
It's going to be tough, though. Again, taking on a Pac-12 opponent on the road. So, again, it doesn't get any easier for Coach Alan Edwards and his squad coming up this weekend. But as we just heard there, again, Craig Bohl, he giving his thoughts on the bye week, looking forward, at least looking ahead for the last two contests for the Wyoming Cowboys. Again, final home contest against Air Force, and again, on the road against New Mexico. Still have an outside shot to get a bowl game.
And again, this is like the ideal portion of the schedule. I mean, they don't have anybody that's really earth-shattering on the schedule.
No.
All right, before we get into our picks.
It's a power pack show. So, again, like you mentioned, again, Alan Edwards coming up later this hour, but also, too, again, hour number 2, LCCC Coaches Show, as that will be dedicated that full hour to our men's and women's basketball program coming up. So, again, yes, we will get to our Week 9 picks. Also, too, do have a final pair of tickets to go see the Cheyenne Stampede this weekend, Sunday's pair to go see the Stampede take on the Ogden Mustangs. So we will give away that pair as well, too, because tomorrow there will be no show. I'll be on the road up to Casper, Wyoming, as, again, we'll take a look at that World Bare Knuckle Fighting Federation, Bass Rutten, a guest that we've had here on Wyoming Sports Talk today. His promotion will be in action coming up tomorrow at 5 o'clock there at the Casper Event Center. So looking forward to checking that out. Again, the inaugural pay-per-view for the World Bare Knuckle Fighting Federation in Casper, Wyoming.
All right, let's go to the Fish Bowl of Awesomeness. Right,
we're going to that now.
Yeah, let's get that done because, we don't want to get caught up and forget about it. So again,
you're the only one that would forget about it. I have every.
No, I already had my senior moment. I'm good to go the rest of the show. Anyway,
put you in a senior home. Anyways, yes, we'll give away that final.
Would you please? Good. I've lived long enough for me to be a burden on you.
You'll still pay for it, though.
You were like a burden on me for how many years?
I'm not putting a nickel in it. Anyways, though, as we are giving away at least this week pair of tickets to go see the Cheyenne Stampede take on the Ogden Mustangs. It is Military Appreciation Series coming up at the Ison Event Center. GM Mark Lance did deliver a very nice, at least, military-style jersey here, at least for yours truly, as did a little extra work for the Cheyenne Stampede in the offseason for him. So, again, go check out the Stampede coming up this weekend. So, we'll give a pair away, at least tickets to go see Sunday's contest, and also to a pair of goodies to go see our friends over at Chick-fil-A at the corner of Delrange and Windmill. To our winner on the Facebook side who entered, who liked, shared, and commented on the post, and it will be our final winner. Actually, I got 2 entries here. I'll go with this one. The first one I saw, Tammy Kane. Tammy Kane will be our winner for this final pair of tickets to go see the Stampede and Mustangs this Sunday.
And again, we thank you for being a part of our Facebook campaign. Matter of fact, we were just talking with general manager, owner Mark Lance, who also wanted to extend his thank yous to, because it's like, wow, that's pretty impressive. So hopefully, those that have entered in on our contest, don't just enter to win the freebies. I mean, if you didn't win today, make a date of it. You got 3 dates to go out there and see the Stamps. 2 night games, 7:35.
You can buy tickets online at CheyenneStampede.com, or you can buy them there at the door.
It's not an arm and a leg to go see.
It's not like going to see the Colorado Avalanche where you're going to pay. And thanks for the can kind of noise there while I'm speaking, but
as long as we don't have to hear you,
I'm going to beat you with a cane. Anyways, again, Giant Stampede in action at home this weekend. Again, go check them out. Go support them at the Ison Event Center as we talk with players on our coaches show. again, they appreciate it. They appreciate when you show up out there. Some of them have not dealt with at least fan interaction, fan activity at their game, so they aren't enjoying it, and it gives them a little boost, and we can use every little boost, at least for the Cheyenne Stampede coming up again, going against the Ogden Mustangs, again, a team that is undefeated in Western States Hockey League so far.
All right. So congratulations to our latest winner, and we have...
And I will notify you on Facebook, message you.
And I will be here tomorrow. I will even be here Saturday morning, so if you need to come by early Saturday, you can get your tickets. We'll make sure that we will be here. All right, it is time now to do our picks because Alan Edwards is on deck, and he will have his chat with us coming up here at around 3:45, maybe even a minute or two earlier, and then again we'll go into our LCCC Coaches Show. So let's get to the picks. We both went 4-1 last week.
There you go.
So I'm still leading by, 2-3 games?
2 games only. So, again, you don't have a monstrous lead like I did last year. Again, just giving you a little fair handicap right now. But, again,
I'm better than you.
Not even remotely close. Again, you're hurting from last season. So, again, you have a lot of miles.
I'm hurting from last. I'm winning.
Barely.
It's a new year. I'm winning.
Barely. Anyways, though, as we do with our weekly picks, we choose, at least I choose 5 games. Whether it's NFL, NCAA,
or
even
basketball
as well. Again, I tossed that in for today because it was just interesting. It's a big matchup coming up tonight. But, again, we pick against the spread when there is no spread. It's just a straight pick 'em. And, again, we just tabulate all that fun stuff on our 1480 KRAE webpage where, again, under the Wyoming Sports Talk Today page, you can go and find our weekly picks and standings by clicking it on the sidebar there, and you can play along at home if you want to as well, too. So game number 1, we'll start with Thursday's contest. There's going to be 2 of them, so we'll start with the NFL. It will be the Carolina Panthers. They are 6-2 at Pittsburgh Steelers. 5-2-1. This game will be at Heinz Field in Pittsburgh, PA. 6:20 kickoff tonight on Fox, and you can also see it on NFL Network. The Steelers are a 3.5-point favorite at home in this one. I'll let you go first.
All right. Well, I'm glad that you let me go first because I'll be right out of the box.
Sure.
I'm going to go with the Steel Crew. I really didn't have much faith. Of course, they were having the contract problems.
You didn't have faith. I did, on the other hand. Again, I told you about this slow start. It's a Pittsburgh team that's not going to continue to be.
And with the win at Baltimore recently, it showed me that the Steelers are coming back. Ben Roethlisberger is throwing the football very well right now. So, they, amidst all of the garbage they had to kick off the season, they've kind of circle the wagons, and they're ready to play football. They're ready to play Steeler football again and win the division. So with that being said, I like Carolina. You and me have had this discussion numerous times. There's going to be 3 teams coming out of the NFC South.
It's looking
for the
like
playoffs.
It, yeah.
And Carolina's a very good outfit. Don't take this wrong by the team I'm picking, because they are very capable of winning every time they're on the field. Cam Newton throwing the football well. You got McCaffrey in the backfield. They got a slew of receivers to throw to. So with that all being said, just because it is at Heinz Field tonight, and I think they're a little bit of a roll right now. They're playing some consistent football. I'm going with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Well, after that long rant there, hopefully we'll be able to get to Coach Allen Edwards.
I killed 2 minutes like I was supposed
as you go with the Steelers, yes, I will go with the Steelers as well, too. At home on a short, at least, work week. Yeah, I like Pittsburgh at home against Carolina. It's going to be a toss-up. At Pittsburgh, I'd say they win maybe by the half a point there, at least get 4-point victory, maybe by a touchdown. It's going to be a close one in this one, but yeah, I'll go with the Steel Curtain as well. Game number 2 for our weekly picks. Game number 2 for Thursday night, it will be the Milwaukee Bucks 8-2 at Golden State Warriors, who are 10-1 on the season. This will be at Oracle Arena in Oakland, California. 8:30 tip-off on TNT. The Warriors at home, a 6-point favorite for this contest. So the very rare basketball pick that I will toss in, but it's a big matchup. Again, this is not going to be NBA Finals of what we could possibly see. I really doubt that. I think Bucks will eventually come back down to reality, and I think it's still, it's either Boston or Toronto who's coming out of that East, but Milwaukee will make it interesting. But it's still a big matchup coming up at least tonight. Golden State, 6-point favorite at home. How they've been playing at home, again, I got to see them up close and personal there in Oakland, where they demolished the Washington Wizards. I think 6 points, yeah, I'll take it. Golden State, they win, and they win probably by double digits against this team.
Well, like Klay Thompson says, if you want to win NBA championships, you got to get as good as us, and it's just not going to happen. Bucks are not even close to the Warriors. Maybe if they were in Milwaukee, I would say 6 points might be just a tad too much, but this is at the Oracle Arena. Golden State very rarely loses on their home court. So, and the Bucks 8-2. Right now,
but
it's an anomaly.
The offense that Golden State has been tossing up, it's been phenomenal. And again, they've been lacking on defense. They can put up defense, and I think in tonight's, I think it'll be a very high-scoring affair, which it's kind of been throughout the season so far for the Warriors. But I still think, again, 6 points, I think they should take care of that.
I'm still waiting for Draymond Green to go off on somebody. This might.
Well, you're going to have to wait because he's injured.
Again?
Yeah.
Ah, jeez.
He's injured, so at least for, I do believe, about maybe a week or so. So, again, Draymond will be out for this contract.
So they're going to have to beat him then with just Kevin Durant
which is not hard.
Steph
and Clay.
Yeah, a couple guys off the bench. Iguodala, Warriors.
I'm not too worried about
They'll cover the spread tonight.
Anyways, we'll go both Golden State there. Game number 3, as we need to hurry this up. Friday, we'll move to Friday's contest. It will be NCAA action in the Mountain West Conference, as it will be number 23 Fresno State, the Bulldogs, who are 8-1 overall, 5-0 in Mountain West play. We'll be at the Boise State Broncos, 7-2 overall, 4-1 in Mountain West play. This will be at Albertson Stadium in Boise, Idaho. 8:15 kickoff on ESPN2. The Bulldogs, 2.5-point favorites on the road. I'll let you go on this one.
Obviously, a preview of the Mountain West Conference Championship.
No. I'll say yes. Fresno,
Utah State.
Utah State on the other.
Okay.
It's a rematch of what the Mountain West Championship was of last year.
Well, you never know. Utah State may stumble, but with Fresno State being number 23 in the nation, they know any loss by them is going to drop them down and out of a big high-dollar bowl. Bulldogs will win this one. I believe they'll win on the Smurf turf.
Yeah, I think so as well, too. Again, Fresno State is definitely for real. They will win tonight, or at least, on Friday night. They should take care of Boise State. Boise State does not impress me. Fresno State absolutely does. Again, on the road, they know the confines of Boise. Weather isn't going to be too much of a factor there for the Bulldogs. And, again, 2.5. I think Fresno could easily win by a field goal, could easily win by a touchdown. This one, I have a feeling, will be a close effort as well. It doesn't have a feeling that Fresno State or Boise should run away with it, but should be a close effort. So we'll both agree on Fresno State. Game number 4, this will move to Saturday. It will be number 2 Clemson, 9-0 overall, 6-0 in ACC play. At number 17 Boston College, who are 7-2 overall, 4-1 in ACC play. This will be at Alumni Stadium in Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts, 6 p.m. kickoff on ABC. The Clemson Tigers, 20-point favorite.
I'm going to go with the BC Eagles. Clemson always has a slip-up game throughout the course of the year. They're good under Dabo Swinney, but they always have a game that's exciting down to the last moment. This will be the one against the BC
I like how
Eagles.
you just took every single pick that I had and basically ran with it because I went with Boston College as well.
Screw it. Then I'll go with Clemson.
No,
I was waiting for Clemson to have a...
See, this is why you're winning, because you take off of my picks. So,
I looked at your sheet.
Yeah, you cheat.
Yeah.
Anyways,
right.
though, I'll go with the Eagles as well. I don't think Boston necessarily wins in this one, but it's that game where, kind of going back to what Clemson, or at least the pick that we had at least early in the season with Clemson, forget who they played against, but 20 points seems like very high. I don't think they're going to cruise against Boston College. They easily could, but on the road, I don't really see it. I think Boston College keeps it close, but not necessarily. I think Clemson still wins, but it's a very close effort on Saturday. Game number 5, as we'll wrap up our Week 9 picks very quickly here. It will move to the Monday night game for NFL. I chose this one just for why not, but it will be the New York Giants, 1-7 overall, at the San Francisco 49ers, 2-7. A game played in Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California, 6:15 kickoff on ESPN. The 49ers at home, 3-point favorites under new, at least he has been announced and it's official, at least quarterback Nick Mullins, who got the victory last Thursday, will be at it again this Monday there for the 49ers. With this one, 49ers, they should take care of the Giants. Nick Mullins, I think he continues to kind of grow his stock, grow his star, at least. I fully believe in Nick Mullins. I think he's not going to carry this team to the playoffs or do anything magical, but he's going to try to salvage as much as he can.
Nick Mullins is not the greatest instinct sliced bread, he's going
to look like it against the Giants.
The Giants just stink. So, and the 49ers stink just a little bit less. I'll go with the Niners in this one.
So basically on every pick we went all the same, so no real change. So
let's just see if we can go 5-0 for once.
Well, possibly. So anyways, just to quickly recap as we need to get to a break here. Game number 1, we'll both go with the Pittsburgh Steelers coming up tonight. Same with the Golden State Warriors to win tonight by 6 points against the Milwaukee Bucks. Moving to Friday, we both agree with Fresno State beating Boise State on the road. Saturday, we'll both agree on Boston College. You have the Eagles winning that contest. I think that it's a little too high that Clemson is a 20-point favorite.
I said they'll cover the spread.
Yeah, whatever. Anyways, and then moving to game number 5 on the Monday night contest again. As we mentioned, 49ers, we believe, should defeat the Giants on Monday Night Football. So that's our Week 9 picks. Again, all that information posted online on our website, 1480krae.com. Go under the programming guide to Wyoming Sports Talk today. Click on that page, and on the sidebar, it's our weekly picks and standings, which you can click on, and it'll give you all that information right there.
It's time to take a quick break, and when we come back, we had a chat with Alan Edwards coming up after these words right here in 1480 KRAE.
Are you looking for a pharmacist who will actually take the time to talk to you? Then come to Medicap Pharmacy. We're dedicated to healthcare only, which means we'll fill your prescription quickly, and then we'll make time to listen, answer your questions, explain your prescriptions, and tell you about possible drug interactions.
Medicap Pharmacy will always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
You love the Lennox difference, from collision repair to minor nicks and dents. Certified quality you can trust. Nobody cares about your car more than us. Lennox Auto Body, we do what we say. We fix it right and get you on your way. No shortcuts, no compromise. Lennox Auto Body. No shortcuts, no compromise.
Lennox Auto Body at 1020 Dunn Avenue and the Detail Center at 617 East Pershing Boulevard, Cheyenne.
Taco John's presents Olay the Day Pep Talks.
Boys, this halftime score is not indicative of our talent level. We're a lot closer than I thought we'd be, and old Coach has just the thing to get us over the hump. Street tacos from Taco John's. You can get them with chicken or new sirloin steak or pork carnitas. That's a triple option of awesomeness. Let's go get some.
Get 3 street tacos for just $5 at Taco John's.
Hustle up, boys. If we leave now, we can be back for the fourth quarter.
Olay the Day at Taco John's.
Wyoming basketball fans, mini plans are now on sale for exciting action in the Arena Auditorium. Pick any 4+ home games for the Cowboys or Cowgirls with prices starting as low as $40. Mini plans allow you to see exciting weekend Mountain West matchups with Boise State, Colorado State, Nevada, and more. Purchase your Wyoming basketball mini plan today at GoWyo.com or call 307-766-7220. See you this season in the AA.
Due to our stormy season this summer, Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service is offering you a hail of a deal on a wide variety of travel trailers, including toy haulers. Get up to an additional 50% off MSRP on Jolly Rogers' already low prices. Check out their new and used inventory. Damaged or not, you can still travel in style. Call Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service today, your exclusive Jayco dealer, at 634-8457. See them at 6102 U.S. Highway 30 or go to jollyrogersrv.com. Check out the huge savings this week at Town & Country Supermarket Liquors. Here are just a few of the terrific weekly specials. Check out these super buys heard only right here. Sailor Jerry Spiced Rum, 1.75-liter bottle, $20.69. Jose Cuervo Gold or Silver Tequila, 1.75-liter bottle, $27.89. And Corona, 24-pack of 12-ounce bottles, $27.99. Town & Country Supermarket Liquors on the South Greeley Highway, Cheyenne's low-price leader.
The next time you have a craving for authentic Mexican cuisine, visit Hacienda Guadalajara at 317 East Lincoln Way. Locally owned and operated, they serve their dishes with family tried and true recipes with the freshest of ingredients, made to order. Start off your meal with their complimentary chips, salsa, and bean dip. And if you're feeling adventurous, enjoy your favorite margarita or cerveza. Hacienda Guadalajara, where the spice is always nice.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
This morning we can expect partly sunny skies with highs around 32 and winds out of the north at 10 to 15. If it's tonight, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 16 and winds out of the west at 10 to 15 miles per hour. On Friday, it'll be sunny with highs around 35, and on Friday night, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 23.
Tired of lazy and predictable sports talk radio? We know you are. This is Cheyenne's new sports radio home. It's Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's right here on AM 1480 KRAE.
And welcome back to Wyoming Sports Talk Today. It is our pleasure to talk to Cowboys basketball head coach Alan Edwards, beginning his third season on the bench as the head man for the Wyoming Cowboys. Coach, thanks so much for joining us on Wyoming Sports Talk Today. We do appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Coach, let's talk about the team this year. And again, a lot of new faces and some of the younger guys that have moved up a year in the ranks with your program. First, let me stop before we talk about your team. Can you give us an update on Hunter Thompson? I know that he was injured the other night. What's his status as of this morning?
Still haven't heard back as of this morning, but the latest information that I've had on him was, he had to get x-rayed on his jaw as well to make sure there wasn't any break within the jaw, and that came back in a sense of negative, so he's fine there. But he is in concussion protocol, so he will not be making his trip to Oregon State, but we will probably know more here and later in the day after he has a chance to meet with our doctors and get tested again.
We hear that word or that phrase, concussion protocol. What is the University of Wyoming, or is this an NCAA concussion protocol? What does that all entail, Coach?
Well, they go through, I guess, symptoms. So today would be about asking him questions and seeing how he responds. And then from the response that he gives back to our doctor kind of gives us the next step in a sense of how long he'll be out dealing with it. And I think I don't know if it's necessarily an NCAA deal. I just think it's more of what we do here at the University of Wyoming.
Okay. All right, Coach, let's go back to my original question here again. We have some returning veterans from last year's team, and you have a whole bunch of new folks there. It's now that process of meshing the new with the veterans, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit how that's coming about with the practices, and of course, you had the game the other night with UC Santa Barbara. This is going to be a work in progress, right?
Well, what I had an opportunity to tell our team is obviously, yes, we have a lot of new faces, and I love the talent that we have within those guys coming aboard. But even going through the summer and leading up to our first game within the last 5 days, our basketball team changed again, more so because of what happened to Jordan Naughton, going down with a partial tear in his LCL, and then 15 minutes of playing time for Hunter Thompson changed a lot of how we need to proceed going forward. So not having him from the Oregon State game, yes, we got to be creative, but in the sense of when we have him back and get Naughton back, really like what this team is going to be, and then at the same time allowing opportunities for the newer guys, not Jake Hendricks and not A.J. Banks, but, the newer guys to get them out there within 2-minute spurts to play hard as they can and then be able to spell a Justin James, a Hunter Maldonado, a Nye Redding, and to be honest with you, a Jake Hendricks.
You look at your pre-conference schedule, and again, people can say what they want to say, but, for you and the new guys and the remainder of the veterans from last year, this is going to be a non-conference schedule that is going to put these kids to the test right away.
Well, even in my first 2 years, I never really tried to duck anybody in a sense of playing. I always thought of it as it being an opportunity to challenge your team in preparation for conference play. So no different than last year, we had the second toughest schedule in our conference. So this year we're middle of the pack, with all the new guys coming in. But it's a very challenging schedule to open up with your first game against a team like UCSB, who finished second in that conference last year and still will be a top team in that league. Again, puts you to the test. I get it at the end of the day, wins and losses. I really do. But my process with our guys is getting better and better every time we step out on the floor.
Looking at that non-conference schedule, you will compete in the Fort Myers tip-off, where you'll see the likes of Boston College and also, too, possibly Richmond or Loyola Chicago. Also, too, later in the year, you will be at the Sun Bowl Invitational, seeing Eastern Tennessee State University, and also, too, possibly UTEP or Norfolk State. But, Coach, my question for you, at those kind of invitationals or those tip-off challenges, I mean, what does that do for the University of Wyoming? Is that something to kind of spotlight for national attention? Is it something to kind of put a little marker for possibility to make it to the NCAA tournament? I mean, what do these invitationals do for the University of Wyoming?
Well, I think at the end of the day, what people don't get sometimes is it's hard to get guys or teams here. Nobody's knocking down the door to come play in Laramie, and vice versa, even getting us out there to play them. So when you're getting tournament structure, you have an opportunity to play against some of the Power Fives, but also in a sense of challenging. Last year down in Cayman was a great opportunity for us to, go against some guys and get all the way to the championship and play against Cincinnati. I think this tournament is no different, opening up against Boston College and then have an opportunity to play against, everybody will be familiar with Loyola of Chicago because of what they did last year and making it to the Final Four. And then Richmond, who is in the A10, and I think the following year we're getting into a Mountain West A10 challenge anyway. So that league is very comparable. And then the UTEP, the Sun Bowl Classic, is somewhat of the same thing, to where, obviously at the end of the day, you have to be able to fill your schedule. And sometimes, you may not get what you want within that, but I thought the Sun Bowl was a great challenge for us. And the field is kind of putting you into perspective of playing in the Mountain West tournament, to where you have to play a game and then you have to turn right back around and play the next night. So, you always got to look for opportunities to help your team or put your team in situations that you feel like are going to happen throughout the year.
Let's keep on the Mountain West kind of theme right now, Coach, as we know that Nevada is going to be, at least they are picked to be the top dog right now in the Mountain West. Again, national ranked in the top 25. But, again, we know what to expect out of the Wolfpack, especially with the Twins out there. But what other teams are kind of on your radar right now to watch out in the Mountain West Conference?
Well, I've always bragged about our league, and everybody keeps, bringing up the fact that, okay, there was a time where we were getting 4 and 5 teams in, and now we're not. And to be honest with you, my thing has always been, well, I think the higher-ups are always trying to find ways to keep teams that are not in the Power 5 out of the NCAA tournament. But the league has been more and more competitive top to bottom, so every night you have to be ready to go up and compete, and I said this to a lot of people, and even us as coaches always talk. And, San Jose was just as tough as playing anybody else in the conference, even though they only won one game in conference play. But if you look at our league, you got the usual suspects. You got San Diego State, you got New Mexico. UNLV turns over their roster and bring in top kids every year. And then we got some new coaches in the league, guys that are former assistants in this league are now head coaches. Nico over at CSU, obviously done a good job everywhere he's been. And Craig at Utah State has done a great job where he's been. And then, his name just forgot me, Hudson just got promoted from being an assistant at San Diego State and now the head coach at Fresno State. So there's a lot of guys that have been in this league and now are head coaches, but I think, it's another year to where you have to be ready to play against everybody.
We're talking with Alan Edwards, University of Wyoming men's basketball head coach. Coach, speaking of, you were mentioning assistants, and you have added a very integral piece to your bench in Sean Vandiver, who very familiar with the old Western Athletic Conference / Mountain West Conference League. How much of his expertise does he lend to you now being on the bench?
Well, I think the best part about having Coach V back here is he just knows so many people. I think I'm going to nickname him the mayor. because he just knows he has a lot of relationships from being back here, and then even with former players, we had an opportunity to bring a lot of our former guys back and hang out with them. But from a coaching standpoint, him being in that chair understands the thought process that goes along with the position. No different than this first game and dropping one to UCSB. The process in getting ready for the next game. How he's helping our other assistant here to understand how to go through that in a sense of getting ready for Oregon State. But just his insight and just his voice, whether it be on the practice floor or in our staff meetings. He's just been a great addition. He and his family has been a great addition to our staff, but also to our community.
Coach, I'm glad that he is back with the Cowboys this year, and I'm talking about Justin James. And again, too, you were there on the bench when Coach Chiat was there, when we had Josh Adams. But Justin, to me, it seems like each year has taken his game to that next level. How much, and I know this, I already know the answer to this question, Coach, but how much is he going to be the go-to guy for the Cowboys this year?
Well, there's no question that he's going to be the go-to guy. But what I've done and the staff has done with Justin is we've had long conversations throughout the summer, even when he was going through the process of testing the waters at the NBA level, and then even coming back here in the fall, is him understanding how to be more complete of a basketball player. And, probably even got off some rust here because that was the first opportunity he had to get out and play against different competition, dealing with injury or me just wanting to rest him, getting ready for conference or season play. But what he's done a great job is rebounding. Had a great double-double the other night, but he also led us in assists with 4. So he's understanding that it can't just be about scoring for him or for this team, but it has to be about scoring. It has to be about rebounding. It has to be about assisting. It has to be about trusting in his teammates. It has to be about defending. And, I had a great conversation with him again after this first game, and I'm just happy with how much he's grown, not only as a basketball player, but I thought the biggest growth, he's grown as a person and how he sees the game of basketball and how he's committed to studying it and getting ready for each and every opponent.
Coach, final thought for me, and I've talked with all of the coaches, Coach Ficca over here, Coach Ortmeier, and most recently Coach Legursky yesterday, and posed the same question to you about recruiting. It seems like with all of the technology out there these days, and you don't have to hop aboard the big Airbus and fly across the pond and see the European stars, but this recruiting now has turned into an all-year process that I'm sure you're always looking at video and getting calls all the time now.
Well, I mean, even back in the day, recruiting is 365. Whether you're, I know you have your periods where you can get out, you have your dead periods, but you're always allowed to be on the phone, whether it's calling recruits or calling or potential recruits or calling coaches, whether that be high school AAU coaches or just people that are around the game of basketball. So you're constantly doing that, and now you do have more video and things of that nature to where you can actually get a peek at a kid before actually seeing them. But, I'm more of I love watching videos in a sense of piquing my interest, but for me to pull the trigger, I have to physically put my eyes on the kid in person and then go through a process of recruiting him and getting to know him and the people around him because, you always got to be cautious about the type of kids that you're bringing into the program in a sense of not only for talent, but also for character. And I always tell guys, it's not like I'm always saying I'm looking for an angel or a perfect. Nobody's that, but it has to fit what we're doing.
Well, Coach, we do appreciate you giving us a few minutes of your time. Best of luck on the trip as you head over to Corvallis, Oregon, and taking on the Beavers. And again, we'll see you back home here against the Grambling State coming up on the 14th. So, best of luck to you in the preseason as well as the regular season. Hopefully, we'll catch up with you before we get into Mo West play.
Okay, no problem. Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate you.
Alan Edwards joining us on our Wyoming Sports Talk Today segment here, as we've had a chance now to talk to both Coach Legursky, who was victorious last night in their win against the Chadron State Eagles, and again, best of luck to Coach as he takes on a Pac-12 powerhouse team in the Oregon State Beavers. And again, it's going to be a tough road trip, but hopefully the Cowboys will be able to at least show a little better than they did in the Arena Auditorium the other night. We're going to take a timeout. We'll be back with more after these words right here on 1480 KRAE.
Also being heard on translator K266CC Cheyenne at 101.1 FM.
What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local. It's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Hour number 2, that means it's LCCC Coaches Hour when we get into our program. But first, let's tell everybody that our program is being brought to you by Mars Plumbing and Heating at 1515 Logan Avenue. Mondello's Pizzeria, Paisan Cuisine at its best. From my buddy Joe Mondello. Hey, both our names and a vowel. You know we can cook real well. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D, in the Greenway Commons, open 7 days a week. First Tier Bank directly across the street. Talk to my good friends over there Monday through Friday about their special CD rates going on right now with annual percentage yields that you are going to like. Lennox Auto Body ×2, the auto body and repair shop you'll find over on Dunn Avenue, the Auto Glass and Detail Center over on Pershing Boulevard. Hey, if you need a prescription filled, my good friend Gene and his great staff over at Medicap Pharmacy on Bluegrass Circle next door to Texas Roadhouse will fill those prescriptions, tell you all about those medications that you're taking. Matter of fact, they even have a convenient drive-through. They have some sundry supplies inside. They're always there. They're your full-service pharmacy.
They got a medication for you to speak correctly? I'm just saying. You stumble there.
Guess what, dude? You're on the Coach's Show by yourself.
Oh, wow.
Platte Valley Bank ×2. You will find Rick and the great staff over on Vanda High. You will also find the east side location at the corner of College and Pershing. Key of Cheyenne on Nation Way. The 18s got to go. 19s are moving in, so see my good buddy A.J. Miller along with Greg Miller and the entire crew over at Key of Cheyenne. Let them put you into a great drive to put into your driveway tonight. Chick-fil-A at the corner, Windmill and Del Range. And again, my friends Ray and Cindy Mefford over at Chick-fil-A invite you to come on by for 3 squares, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, as they're directly across from Menards, corner of Windmill and Del Range. 2 convenient drive-thrus, Monday through Saturday, Chick-fil-A here in Cheyenne. Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service. You will find the great crew over on Highway 30. They're having a hail of a sale right now from the summer hail. And again, if you are a fan of Jayco products, they got a plethora of Jayco fifth wheels, RVs, travel trailers, and you're going to find some sensational deals right now at Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service. Well, we got Thursday Night Football, which we'll tell you about here in just a little bit. Just want to remind you over at Taco John's of Cheyenne, this is the night to get the 6-pack at a pound or 3 for $5 walking tacos. They also have their loaded potato olays. And don't forget, every Tuesday at Taco John's, it's Taco Tuesday. Taco John's of Cheyenne. We go to our scoreboard first, and our scoreboard is brought to you by our great friends at Pepsi of Cheyenne. Here's Nick.
NHL action for tonight. Vancouver Canucks on the road in Boston at the TD Garden, taking on the Boston Bruins. The Florida Panthers hosting the Edmonton Oilers. You also, too, will see the Arizona Coyotes as they travel out to Philadelphia to take on the Flyers at Wells Fargo Center. Montreal Canadiens at home at Central Bell Center, hosting the Buffalo Sabres. Vegas Golden Knights in Ottawa, taking on the Sens at Canadian Tire Center. Tampa Bay Lightning hosting the New York Islanders. Also, too, you will see the Carolina Hurricanes travel up north to Chicago to take on the Blackhawks at United Center. Dallas Stars hosting the San Jose Sharks, and the Minnesota Wild traveling out west to L.A. to take on the Kings at Staples Center. That's what's happening NHL action for tonight.
From the National Football League, the Carolina Panthers will visit the Pittsburgh Steelers tonight. That will be at Heinz Field. Panthers 6-2, and the Steel Crew 5-2-1. On the NBA schedule, just 4 games on tap for tonight. Rockets and the Thunder at the Chesapeake Energy Arena in OKC. Celtics and the Suns at the Talking Stick Resort Arena in Phoenix. At the Moda Center in Portland, Trailblazers hosting the LA Clippers. And the Warriors, 10-1 this season, 5-0 at the Oracle. They will play host to the Milwaukee Bucks, who check in with an 8-2 mark. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. On deck, Brian Ortmeier from the LCCC Lady Golden Eagles.
Hi, I'm Alex White, tea master at Pure Leaf. When I make tea, everything I know goes into it. You can't be impatient. When I craft Pure Leaf iced tea, I don't take shortcuts, because I want you to have the same amazing taste of iced tea that I do. So I start with fresh picked tea leaves. Then, after they're delicately dried, I blend and brew them at a lower temperature to draw out their unique aromas. And then I taste and fine-tune the blend for a delicious smooth iced tea. I'd love to have you take a sip right now, but that's one thing we can't do over the radio. But you can experience the same delicious taste of Pure Leaf iced tea anywhere you are. I'm Alex White, Pure Leaf Tea Master. Pure Leaf, our thing is tea.
Fat, lazy, and stupid is no way to conduct a sports talk radio show. We've thrown down the gauntlet, upped the stakes, and made it clear that when it comes to sports talk radio in Cheyenne, there's a new player in town. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
It is time every Thursday, unless we have a game, for the LCCC Coaches Show, and we'll kick things off with the Lady Golden Eagles. Brian Ortmeier. Our program brought to you by LCCC Athletics, and again, we thank LCCC for sponsoring our program. Brian, first off, last week when we talked to you, we were talking about the team, how they are going to gel together. Again, new leadership on the floor. Matter of fact, we'll be talking to one of your newest leaders who actually has been with the program 2 years, but it was a medical redshirt from last year. Mm-hmm. So we'll be talking with Gabi O'Connor coming up here on the second set. But 3 games since we've last talked to you, 2 up in Sheridan. You went down south to Colorado Springs. You come back 2-1 as we sit down and chat here this Thursday. Gotta like that start?
Yeah, feeling really good about the start. We start off the year up in Sheridan with 2 games on the road. Not an easy road trip, 5.5 hours on the bus up. And then you open the year with number 14, College of Southern Idaho, and, a program I'm pretty familiar with after coaching at Colorado Northwestern. And, it's not a team that's afraid to drop drop 120, 130 points on a team looking back to last season. And they beat a couple opponents by 50, 60 points. So tough test right out of the gate. We go into halftime up 1 point, feeling really, really great about our effort, and we just didn't hit any shots in the second half. I think we went 1 of 16 from 3, just went cold. And then again, even late in the game, we get fourth quarter, I think there's 4 minutes left in the game, and it's still an 8-10 point game. So we battled them, and that was good to see. It's unfortunate we didn't hold on and get the dub, but saw a lot of great things out of our team right out of the chute. The second game, we head out and take on the Wyoming All-Stars. And again, the way I kind of describe this to a lot of people is, most of the time you see an alumni team that's in their 30s and 40s, and you're not really sure what you're going to see. And this is a team that was pretty young. They had Sheridan College down 24 points the night before. Sheridan rallied back and beat them by 5. But they had Kayla Woodward back from University of Wyoming, was suited up and playing. They had some girls from Black Hill State, South Dakota Mines. They had a pretty talented squad. So, again, we dropped 80 points on them, if I remember correctly, and played really well throughout the game. It was pretty close early, but it was one of those where we just kind of kept fighting, and wore them out eventually. So good to see that win. We come back, and again, another road trip down to Colorado Springs. Against the Prep Academy, just big physical players they have. And again, to get that win, just kind of outlast them. It's a 10-12 point game for most of the second, third quarter, and then we just exploded in the fourth and ended up getting them by 30. So we do have that ability. We shoot it well. That's kind of one thing that I've noticed. And then our defense has been good enough to just kind of wear on teams, and that's shown late in the fourth.
The Lady Falcons in the Mountain West have struggled. I mean, the program has not materialized yet to be a competitive force. But as you saw with the prep team, you can see Air Force is a little more serious about their women's program. They
are.
You know, they're
Yeah.
trying to shape up the guys' program where it's more consistent. But the ladies, you got a little view of, hey, you know what? We're just not going to be also-rans anymore in the Mountain West.
Exactly. And, you know, it starts with the prep academy for them because a lot of those kids will move up and end up playing for their varsity team eventually. But, you know, being around the Richmond program, Richmond men's basketball for a year, and Chris Mooney being the coach out there, having some ties back to Air Force when he was out there, and just seeing that Princeton offense, the matchup 2-3 zone they run, just kind of that history of discipline, physicality, those types of things that you see out of your Air Force teams typically, it definitely shows. They're going to be physical. They're going to be very patient. They're very crisp with their movement and their screening. And again, it was good to see our kids play through it.
But for you, I again, as much as Region 9 does not recognize or doesn't really, not to use a harsh word, kind of care for, again, the Wyoming All-Star contest or, again, Air Force Prep, again, it doesn't matter towards kind of postseason action for LCCC. But, I mean, for you as a coach, though, again, as you're talking, again, top, at least these talent coming in for the Wyoming All-Stars, Air Force Prep, again, this is a Mountain West team that you're competing against, at least players that could be going up to that varsity level and playing for a Mountain West team. I mean, that's got to be a good kind of boost of confidence, though, for your players and then for yourself as well, too, of what you're seeing so far early in this season.
Yeah, you see a good team effort from us being able to go get those wins. But the other thing, too, is it allows us to see how some of our kids are going to handle matchups against elite players. Again, they had 3-4 players that, you know, most of the teams in our region would love to have. They had a kid out of 5'11" shooting guard out of Pennsylvania that, I mean, she could shoot from anywhere and could drive the ball. You know, they have kids from, you know, all over the U.S. that they're getting there to the prep academy. And again, it's good to see how we can match up with those things that we can go back and watch. So, you know, down the road when we're playing Casper and they've got some talented athletes, we can see how do we defend against this, who played well against a kid that kind of fits that mold. And again, going against a kid like Kayla Woodward, you know, we got to try some different players on her and see, you know, does it work better for us to go with kind of a smaller guard on her? Do we have to go more of a forward? You know, we got to see how our kids test against those types of challenges, and they all handled it very well.
Going back, not to cut you off, but going back to the Sheridan Classic matchup again, that weekend series out there playing at where Sheridan College is, again, where eventually you'll play there again coming up with the regular season. How much is that somewhat of an advantage for your team, again, where you know how that floor is going to play, how that basket's going to be, at least when you take on Sheridan College? Is that something you can take an advantage once you see Sheridan College on the road?
I think so. It's you know, it helps if we're going to go play up there in 2 weeks as opposed to 2 months. You know, we don't actually travel up there, I think, until late January or February. So, but you know, the kids are familiar with the gym, and everyone sets up a little different, and I think it makes a bigger difference too. And it's going to be a place like Gillette where they've got that false background back behind the baskets. That usually makes a bigger difference to be able to go play at a place like that. Or, you know, a darker gym or a brighter gym, and you kind of know what to expect. You know, Sheridan, outside of it being a dome instead of a square, you know, it's pretty similar in terms of the background and how it all sets up compared to ours.
It's a lot nicer up in the north, but again, tougher background, as I remember when we were down at Otero last year as we wrapped up the season. You know, let's talk about, by the way, Air Force Prep, that will be our next game as you have a home and home with the Air Force Prep team, and that'll be our Tuesday night contest here.
Tuesday the 13th at 5 p.m. tip-off time, at least here in town over at the RAC.
And speaking, we'll get to the RAC here in just a bit. I know we want to get Gabi in here too because time is ticking away on us, but takeaways that you have here from the first 3 games of the season. I know when we talked in our pre-season conversation, you were going to have some different looks out there where at one time you could have 4 guards. Did you have that opportunity to run those different type of rotations out on the floor?
Yeah, we've been able to take a look at a lot of different things. You know, late in some of these games, we've went a little more 2-post with off our bench. You know, we've been playing more guard-oriented offense. So, again, we're trying to play a little more up-tempo, considering we've hit 83 and 80 the last 2 games. And we're really going to try to spread teams out. So, again, our guard place is where I like it to be. I think, again, we're going to have to get a little more contribution off the block offensively. But, on the defensive side of things, I've been really impressed, too. I think we're getting enough pressure on ball. We're going to have to try and find ways maybe to extend some of that pressure, too, to the three-quarter court or full court at times. But, we're shooting it well. We're taking care of the ball. I don't think we've had more than 13 turnovers in a game as well. So we're doing a lot of the fundamental things very, very well right now. It's just if we're relying kind of live or die on the three, that's kind of been when we've went into some droughts. So, again, we've got to be just a little more patient on offense.
Well, one of the things last year that you were very good at, and I think back to the likes of Courtney Walker and Carla O'Brien, and I would venture to say Gabi's in that same mold as well. Great steals.
Yeah,
we'd pick off a lot of passes, but the transition kind of failed right there towards the end of the bucket. Are you looking this year too to move that transition game a lot forward?
Yeah, and it's that was one thing I noticed more specifically the last game against Air Force Prep. In that third and fourth quarter, we were getting some 2-on-1 run-outs to the basket. We were getting some guards backing behind them. I know Gabi had 3-4 assists just getting it crossed up the court, getting it up to that next guard for a layup. So it is something we're going to continue to stress as we keep moving on from game to game.
All right, we are going to take a timeout, and when we come back, we will talk with Gabi O'Connor, again, redshirt freshman, who will be joining us from the LCCC Lady Golden Eagles, back after these words right here in 1480 KRAE.
Every story has a beginning, a middle, and an end, but not necessarily in that order. You decide where you're going and how you'll get there. An unwritten experience awaits. Be bold, be prepared, be inspired. Your story unfolds. Laramie County Community College. Visit lccc.wi.edu to start your story today.
Hello, this is Pastor Nathaniel Ensley with Blessed Hope Baptist Church in Burns, Wyoming, and I would like to invite you to listen to our weekly broadcast entitled Hope for Today, right here on 1480 KRAE, every Wednesday morning at 7 a.m. Our goal during each broadcast is to bring you a simple and short Bible truth that will be a help to you. Sure hope you can tune in. God bless you.
Totally transformed, the new 2019 Kia Soul has an eye-catching exterior with an interior to match. I'm AJ Miller for Kia of Cheyenne, and the new 2019 Kia Soul has more to choose from, like available cool ventilated seats or heated seats for winter comfort. Kia Soul also has available technology like UVO, voice command navigation, automatic temperature control, and smart key with push-button start. Come by and compare Kia Soul today at Kia of Cheyenne or go to KiaofCheyenne.com and we'll make it easy.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
This morning we can expect partly sunny skies with highs around 32 and winds out of the north at 10 to 15. If it's tonight, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 16 and winds out of the west at 10 to 15 miles per hour. On Friday, it'll be sunny with highs around 35, and on Friday night, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 23.
Got something to say? Then get it off your chest right now. Phone lines are open at 307-514-1071. Make your opinion count and call the show. Wyoming Sports Talk today.
Sports Talk today, LCCC Coaches Show Day today. We just had a nice conversation with Lady Golden Eagles head coach Brian Ortmeier. Now we get to talk to one of the players, and I'm glad that we get that opportunity again to chat with players. We did not get to talk to her last year because she was on injured reserve. And towards the end of the season, could she have come back and played a handful of games? Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I think that would have been a wasted season, and I'm glad that she decided to take the full red shirt. We're talking to Gabi O'Connor, point guard. And one of the things I was very impressed with last year, Nick, is that when she was riding the four-wheeler around and she's making shots from, 3-point land, I was very impressed with that. But once you had the walking boot taken off, you had a chance to do what you do best, shooting the basketball. And I guess, first off, welcome to the program and welcome back to LCCC this year.
Thank you so much.
All right, so as we look at the postseason injury, how's the foot, and is everything all ready to rock and roll again?
Yeah, the foot's 100%.
It is?
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Okay. And you heard it in a pickup game of all things. Have you ever been injured before that?
Just like rolled ankles, simple things like that. Nothing really.
And
Nothing too major, but
when you came down on it, it was like you knew right away that it was hurt.
Yeah, I thought it was just a rolled ankle because that's what it felt like. But I was like, the next day, I can go practice. I'll be good. And then Megan checked it out. She's like, you might need an X-ray. And then I got the bad news. So.
How tough was it last year for you? And again, Brian and I had numerous conversations going back and forth through the course of the season, and it was like you're just one step away.
Yeah.
And, hopefully, and we'll put a little plug in for you, maybe that would have been the Gabi O'Connor way of taking LCCC that one step further last year. But how tough was it for you last year to watch?
It was really tough, honestly. There was a few times, where I was so down I didn't want to go to practice. It was hard going to the games, seeing everyone play. It was really rough.
What kept at least you going there, or at least, again, as you're talking about how tough it was kind of sitting out and watching, just sitting on the sidelines, but what was kind of the motivating factor for you to at least kind of stick with it and return back and play for Coach Ortmeier this season?
Well, I had hoped the whole year. They mostly said I was going to be out like 6 to 8 weeks, and then I kept going back. They say 2 more weeks, so before they kept saying that, I always had hope that I was going to come back. It was just towards the end of the season where it was kind of rough, but I knew that all things were, meant to happen, how they are. So then now I'm back this year.
So you come back this year, and again, we'll get all the particulars here in a little bit, what you're studying and all that, but you come back this year, Courtney's back, Carly's back, Kylie's back, Jessica's back as well. So you got some familiar faces, and then you got some new kids that are the freshmen, the young kids on the block, and you kind of get to be a little bit of a teacher as well. Tell us a little bit how the veterans, you guys that were there last year, are meshing with the younger kids.
I think we're all kind of new in a way, even though the sophomores were here last year. We have a lot to learn, but we mesh very good, really. There's no diversity really on the team. There's a lot of chemistry, even though we haven't been playing there long. But we're excited about this year.
One thing I like about watching Coach Ortmeier's team last year was if we could pull it off, we were a good running team. Are you one that likes to get out there and bust on transition? And again, you got some young ladies out there that can run the floor pretty good.
Yeah, I think we have a lot of speed this year, especially compared to last year, so that will be exciting. But there's sometimes, where we don't run it. We would set it up, try to run through the plays, but if we can get the transition, that'd be great. Are
you one that likes to stand behind the perimeter and stop and pop?
I could do both. Lately, my shot has been on, knock on wood, but I could do both, yes.
Okay, good. The Bang Brothers will be back. We could do it on the ladies' side.
As I told Coach last year, I think I coined the flays, the splash.
The flays? The flays? You heard that? Did you heard that?
What did I say? No, I didn't say it. No, again,
it's on film too.
Either way, though, as I told Coach Ortmeier last season, again, to coin the phrase, it would be the Splash Sisters of LCCC.
I like it.
So who do we have on the Splash Sisters this year?
Really, anyone can shoot. Anyone can pull up. So that's pretty cool. Points can be varied through each and every player, which is pretty nice. It's not just one player who's shooting all the shots. It could be anyone, any day. I know Jakia had a good game last game against Air Force Prep, and she got a lot of openings, so that was nice to see someone else do it.
So they can watch the highlights after it's all said and done.
Again, a high-powered offense. I like it. Again, we'll see the Golden State Warriors offense here on the floor with the LCCC women. So, again, every reason to go head out to the rack and go see this talented team play coming up this season. Now, Gabi, we'll kind of get in and kind of introduce yourself to the city of Cheyenne, at least folks who are listening. Just give us a little introductory. Where are you from? And also, too, what are you studying currently at LCCC?
Yeah, so I'm from Colorado Springs, Colorado. I came here to study social science, more on the business side of things. And then I also play basketball here, as you can see.
Absolutely.
Well, the nice thing, too, you got a chance to, fulfill another season and then move on, hopefully to a D. I would assume D1 is next on your list of achievements.
That is correct. That's goal.
Any particular school that you would like to go to if you have that opportunity?
Not right now, but I do know what kind of state I'm looking for. Florida right now. I love the humidity, love the warmth.
Yeah.
Just want away from the snow and the cold. I
Yeah.
respect that absolutely.
I want to sell my radio station somewhere in Arizona. Anyway, so again, as we look forward to this year's team, you're going to play your conference in the North. And as I recall, last year, the teams like Casper, pretty doggone tough. We struggled against Eastern Wyoming. But, like I said, you had a chance last year to almost be another set of eyes like the coach and watch all these teams. Did you take a lot of notes last year on all these teams that we played? And when you're on the floor and you'll see some of those familiar faces, are you all ready to, show them a thing or two that they showed us last year?
Yeah, I think we'll be ready. No matter who we play, I think we'll do what we do. It's run, get those points, play good defense, and hopefully win the game.
Definitely no pressure from Coach Ortmeier as well, too. But anyway, so, Gabi, I want to ask you as well, what, again, as you mentioned from Colorado Springs, Colorado, talk to us about the recruiting process. What made you come up to Cheyenne, Wyoming, and play for the Lady Golden Eagles here at LCCC?
It was really the offer. I also thought that coming to a newer program would also help. Kind of everyone gets a chance to kind of start fresh, Also, just it was kind of far enough away from home, but also close enough to go back whenever I want.
And I would assume family was out this past Tuesday night watching you play?
Yes, I had my mom's side come out. Support.
All right. That's great. All right, Gabi O'Connor, we wish you all the best. Looking forward to bringing you LCCC Lady Golden Eagles basketball once again here on 1480 KRAE, and our first contest coming up Tuesday evening, 5 o'clock. So we will see the Lady Golden Eagles in action coming up at the rack.
Absolutely. Again, best of luck to you for the rest of this regular season as well, too, Gabi. So, again, as we're looking forward to, here we are right now at the beginning of the regular season for both men and women. As you mentioned, again, our first action with the women coming up next Tuesday here in town.
All right, we're going to take a timeout. We'll come back. It will be time for men's basketball coach Jason Ficca to join us. Also, he will have with him today Hayden Collier, the sophomore, and we'll be back after these words right here in 1480 KRAE. Due to our stormy season this summer, Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service is offering you a hail of a deal on a wide variety of travel trailers, including toy haulers. Get up to an additional 50% off MSRP on Jolly Rogers' already low prices. Check out their new and used inventory. Damaged or not, you can still travel in style. Call Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service today, your exclusive Jayco dealer, at 634-8457. See them at 6102 U.S. Highway 30 or go to jollyrogersrv.com. Family owned and operated, Terrell Honda reminds you that the 2018's gotta go now. They're stacked deep so they can be sold cheap. Whether you buy or lease, this is the perfect time of year to shop for the best selection of 2018 Honda Civics, Accords, HRVs, and CRVs before the 2019s hit the showroom floor. So take a test drive today at Terrell Honda, where you'll love their brand of dealing. 1919 Westland Road, Motor City, Cheyenne. And check them out online at terrellhonda.com.
Every story has a beginning, a middle, and an end, but not necessarily in that order. You decide where you're going and how you'll get there. An unwritten experience awaits. Be bold, be prepared, be inspired. Your story unfolds. Laramie County Community College. Visit lccc.wi.edu to start your story today.
Capital Lumber is number one in Cheyenne. Are you listening? We're all the lumber store you'll ever need.
For over 50 years, Capital Lumber Company has offered a full line of hardware and lumber selections. Plenty of materials, even for the do-it-yourselfer. So talk with one of the many experts today at Capital Lumber Company. Capital Lumber Company is the best in the region, and they are your true value hardware store. Lumber One in Cheyenne. Capital Lumber Company at 1222 Dunn Avenue.
Did you know High West Energy has been serving residents of Laramie County for 75 years? Based in Pine Bluffs, High West Energy is an electric co-op proudly serving 10,000 customers in 3 states, including 20 subdivisions surrounding Cheyenne and F.E. Warren Air Force Base. We're owned by our customers who share in the profits and have a voice in ensuring that we maintain high standards while keeping electricity costs low. Keeping energy affordable for 75 years. HighWestEnergy.com.
A Touchstone Energy partner.
You can actually get something good for your health at a drive-through window. When you order your next prescription from Medicap Pharmacy, call ahead and use our drive-through window. Or you can call for free delivery. You can even log on to Medicap.com and order a prescription refill. Your Medicap pharmacist will call you to make arrangements for pickup or delivery.
Medicap Pharmacy will always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
You bleed brown and gold? So do we. Wyoming Cowboys football and basketball is always front and center on the show. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's here on AM 1480, KRAE.
We're back on our LCCC Coaches Show, and we get a chance now to talk to head coach Jason Ficca. And, of course, if you missed the ball game on Tuesday night, they were on the short end of the scoreboard to the NJC Plainsmen. But
do want to make a little plug as well, too, if you want to watch a recap of that game, rebroadcast. It is on the 1480 KRAE YouTube channel as well, too, with every broadcast, or at least LCCC men's and women's game, will be on our YouTube channel throughout this season.
Well, and we look good there when we're doing our pregame and postgame show. I mean, that was the best part of the game, wasn't it?
That's how I watched the game, was via your YouTube broadcast. So the quality was good. The production was excellent.
And we did good pregame and postgame.
You hear that? Again, yeah. I need a raise.
All right. Well, anyway, Coach, let's again, we're not going to go deep into that game. We got a couple of home games coming up, but looking back on it real quick, yes, the offense had a really tough night, but you were happy. You always try to find positives, and you were happy that the defense came to play that night.
No, we defended really well. I mean, there were, I don't want to say historically low offensive numbers, but we haven't struggled that mightily offensively in a long time. But defensively, we were good. Even going back and watching the video, the replay, we were solid all night long. The rebounding was excellent. I counted we gave up 4, after giving up 24 offensive rebounds to Otero Saturday, we gave up 4 actual offensive rebounds where they got them. It was 7 total, but 3 of those were shots we blocked out of bounds, and they got as a team rebound. So we did a great job on the glass. We did a great job defensively, held them to, 40 or right under 40% field goal shooting, which should win you a lot of games. And we'll win this team a lot of games when we get everything right. That was our first true road game, playing on somebody else's court in front of somebody else's fans. I mean, we were a neutral court those 2 games up in Sheridan, very few people in the gym. So it was a different experience. Everything's new for this team, and I was not discouraged. I was disappointed in the outcome, but I was not displeased with the performance at all. The performance is what we try to focus on.
You know, when I looked at, and I watched some of it again as well, as I remember in that ball game, we had opportunities inside. We were just not knocking them down from the outside. I think that was more of our bugaboo than anything in that contest.
Yeah, we definitely didn't shoot that well, but some of it is schematic, and maybe we touched on it after the game. It's schematic, and that we're running a lot of our scoring opportunities are impromptu. We don't run a lot of really hard, rigid set plays. We run a lot of 5-out motion, where it's random. It's determined on the fly. So when our players catch the ball, they're not used to just, hey, I know if we run play A, I look to shoot here. And you can anticipate that, and then you can take a higher percentage shot. Our players, and we looked at one guy in particular, Devin Jones. Every time Devin Jones catches the ball, he is on his tiptoes. He's not sure whether he should be shooting, whether he should be driving, whether he should be passing. So we've got to just play together a little bit more, and we got to play better together. So there's definitely some X's and O's things that we need to do different. But once these guys get in a rhythm and start to learn how to anticipate when and where their scoring opportunities are come from, we're going to be in good shape.
But, I mean, this past Tuesday's contest down at NJC, I mean, this is, again, I would assume I kind of know the answer on this, but it had to be a perfect learning opportunity. At least it came at the perfect time as well, too, early in the season. So you go through the trials and tribulations, have this difficulty, at least with shooting against this team from Sterling, Colorado. But, I mean, that game has to be a perfect kind of learning opportunity for your young men, correct?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's what we're trying to use it as, definitely. Every game we try to learn something. We watch a lot of video and make adjustments. So I really just wanted the guys to take a lot of pride in what they did defensively and understand, guys, that we're going to be fine. That defense and rebounding effort's going to win us a lot of games. They're going to win us a lot of important games. Offense, that's in my wheelhouse. I can fix that. That's like I said, that's the only reason I have a job in this business, because I think I have a pretty decent offensive mind. It's not my rugged, handsome George Clooney good looks. I think we can fix that, the offensive part. We didn't have a lot of time. We took yesterday off after Tuesday's game. We had a good practice just now. We just finished an hour ago. So we don't have a lot of time to make drastic changes. Today was emphasizing just doing things a little bit better, and especially against North Platte tomorrow, you got to be sharp, because North Platte's not going to let you do anything easy. They're gonna make you work for everything. So that's all we really had time to focus on in preparation for tomorrow's game. Is be down, get your hips down, be loaded like a spring, ready to move. We're getting a little sloppy. Guys are starting to creep instead of wait and then break hard. Just simple little, basketball 101, things like that is really what we worked on today.
Well, and you look at two different teams that come in North Platte and McCook. And again, same thing that happened to you. Sophomores are no longer with that team, so they're depending on their freshmen that have developed into their sophomore season as well. They have some height, correct me if I'm wrong, on North Platte.
Yeah.
And McCook is more of a run and gunner. So you get two different styles.
Yeah, North Platte's got a 7-footer. They got really pretty effective offensively last year when they learned to just throw up to him. And against us, that was easy to do because we're pretty undersized along the front line. I think it'll be I would imagine that will be their similar strategy this year, is to do a lot of throwing over the top to him. But it should be a little bit harder for them this year with David and Hayden and the length we have on our front line. So then it's going to come down to the same thing, keeping the ball in front on the perimeter and then getting to the perimeter shooters and contested and making a miss and rebounding. It's a pretty simple formula.
Well, and like I said, you've been in this business for a long time, especially with LCCC. But after 3 games, 2 again in neutral site, and last week this week at Sterling, home cooking is always something that these kids can really use. A lot of the newer kids, especially.
Well, definitely. We missed 14 free throws on Tuesday night. Well, and then 3 of those were front into 1-on-1s. So that's 17 points we left on the court from the free throw line. We lost by 16. So, and that was just confidence. That was straight confidence. So we need to play with more confidence and also technically better. So the confidence part, those guys have to bring. They have to bring with them. The technicality part, yes, we worked on today. We'll see how much it carries over to the game tomorrow. But definitely confidence-wise, we got to step up with confidence. We shot 90% in our first game, 72% in our second game for the free throw line, and then under 50 Tuesday. So that was a confidence factor. That was being on the road in front of fans that were heckling us and not stepping up with confidence.
Yeah, they certainly love to have a little fun down there in Sterling, Colorado. But what I'll do
last
right now,
year they were cheering for us.
Yeah, again, They just love a good old-fashioned basketball game down there. But I do want to encourage fans, again, showing up again, weekend contest Friday and Saturday over at the RAC again, both men and women in action back at home here in town. So, again, do encourage everyone to head on over to the RAC and cheer on both the men and women.
And final thought here, Coach, before we let you go, and we'll chat with Hayden Collier next, the sophomore. A game like Tuesday night, even though you're not going to run the table and win every game this season, I know most coaches and kids want to do that, but a game like that sometimes is good, where it allows you and Coach Salisbury to work with the kids even closer, and the young men also know that, hey, you don't wear an S on your chest as well.
Well, there's no panic. I'm not panicking. And if I start to get nervous, I think back to 2 years ago. We started 0-5, and then ended up winning 23 games. Went 23-6 the rest of the way. So it you know, and one of those games we lost in that 0-5 stretch 2 years ago was to Sheridan, and then we turned around in the quarterfinals of the region tournament later that year and had them down 30 at one point. So, you know, if this team, now that was a bunch of sophomores, it took a little while to click. It might take a little longer to click with a bunch of freshmen, but when it clicks, we're going to be every bit as good as that team. Now, you know, when will it start to click? I don't know. Will we be 5-5 when it clicks? Will we be, 2-6 when it clicks? Will we be 10-10 when it clicks? I don't know, but when it clicks,
watch out.
We got a good team.
All righty, Jason Ficca joining us on our coaches show. Yes,
man who's been in the game well over, again, at least with LCCC, well over a decade. He knows what he's doing out there. Again, full confidence, and that's why he gets paid the big bucks as well too.
Absolutely.
Huge.
He's gonna have to fix his car now because he likes to boat race deer on the way home.
I thought we were going to bring that up.
No, that's all right. But that's a story for off the air.
Yeah.
Anyway, we are going to take a timeout. We're going to come back and talk with Hayden Collier after these words right here in 1480 KRAE.
Every story has a beginning, a middle, and an end, but not necessarily in that order. You decide where you're going and how you'll get there. An unwritten experience awaits. Be bold, be prepared, be inspired. Your story unfolds. Laramie County Community College. Visit lccc.wi.edu to start your story today.
Bad cough or the flu got you down? Dr. Howard Willis, with over 23 years of medical experience, is now your local physician for family health and primary care. Located at 1616 East 19th Street with Dr. Joseph Dobson, Dr. Willis offers that wise counsel to get you back on the road to good health. DOTs and walk-ins are always welcome. So next time a bad cold or flu grabs you, call Dr. Willis at 631-8430. That's 631-8430.
Taco John's presents Olay the Day Pep Talks.
Okay, good day in the weight room, boys. Remember, we lift weights for strength. For cardio, we lift weights faster. Wachowski, quit looking at your stomach, son. What you're looking for ain't there. If you want a six-pack, the easiest way to get one is at Taco John's.
Stop in for a six-pack and a pound at Taco John's. Get 6 crispy beef tacos and a pound of potato olays, all for $10.99.
Let's Olay the day and go get one right now. Last one there has to pick up Mrs. Coach from jiu-jitsu class.
Olay the day at Taco John's.
The 2018 Kia Stinger can be your dream vehicle come to life. I'm AJ Miller, and we have the impressive 2018 Kia Stinger here at Kia of Cheyenne. The Kia Stinger comes with choice of 2 turbocharged engines, giving the Stinger strong performance at a budget-friendly price. This car is tough to beat with numerous standard features and comparably priced lower than other vehicles in its class. You need to come to Kia of Cheyenne and drive the Stinger today. Call us at 775-0123 or go to KiaofCheyenne.com and we'll make it easy.
Check out the huge savings this week at Town & Country Supermarket Liquors. Here are just a few of the terrific weekly specials.
Check out these super buys heard only right here. Sailor Jerry Spiced Rum, 1.75-liter bottle, $20.69. Jose Cuervo Gold or Silver Tequila, 1.75-liter bottle, $27.89. And Corona, 24-pack of 12-ounce bottles, $27.99.
Town & Country Supermarket Liquors on the South Greeley Highway, Cheyenne's low-price leader.
For 56 years, 1480 KRAE has been Cheyenne's home for good times and great oldies. Also with KYY-FM, we are Cheyenne and the area's only locally owned AM/FM combo radio stations. Add that to the addition of 3 FM radio translators to serve the area with programming from both KRAE and KYY, and that equals a lot of bang for your local advertising dollar. Radio, yesterday and today, still works. For more information, contact Don Morris at 307-637-0301.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
This morning we can expect partly sunny skies with highs around 32 and winds out of the north at 10 to 15. If it's tonight, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 16 and winds out of the west at 10 to 15 miles per hour. On Friday, it'll be sunny with highs around 35, and on Friday night, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 23.
We're taking Cheyenne, Wyoming Sports Talk Radio to a whole new level. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Don't look at me. I think these people are completely nuts.
Stop this crazy thing! And it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Taking us up to the top of the hour as we wrap up our LCCC Coaches Show, brought to you by LCCC Athletics. We get sophomore Hayden Collier joining us, and he's from Rangiora, New Zealand.
Rangiora.
Okay, well,
tomato.
Hey, your relatives will definitely correct me on there, but I know they told me last year to say it sort of like you just said right there. Anyway, I'm not going to touch it again. Hayden, your second season here at LCCC. Talking with Coach on the way to Sterling. Correct me if I'm wrong. You and Stefan spent most of your summer here in Cheyenne.
Yeah, I stayed here all summer from finish of last year and start of this year. I think Manzi went home for a couple of weeks.
But my point is, though, you haven't been home in a while. Again, being in Cheyenne, Wyoming, as opposed to being with family, do you get a little homesick from time to time?
Yeah, it's definitely tough some of the time. But, like most of my family, I can always message them or call them whenever I need to. And it kind of like keeps me up.
Well, and definitely take advantage of, again, here we are in 2018 with the social media. Again,
but also, too, now all our games are on YouTube, so they'll be able to watch all of your games and at least keep up with your basketball exploits throughout the course of the year.
But let's keep on the theme, though, with you, Hayden. Again, New Zealand to Wyoming, it's miles and miles away, at least the difference between the two. But what brought you out to at least come play for LCCC? How did that come by?
So basically, it was probably my second year of high school. I realized that I wanted to, keep going with my basketball, and my coaches were telling me that coming to America, going to school on a scholarship was an option. So basically, I just put my head down and started working hard on the court. And now, I ended up here, which I'm enjoying it.
In New Zealand, as it is at LCCC, 15 feet, free throw line to the bucket. The bucket's 10 feet high. No difference there. Is there a difference in the game from your country to the U.S.?
When I first got here, I realized that the people are more athletic, they're more faster here. The game's just faster in general. So it was definitely I had to adjust to it a little bit.
Coach is really depending on you this year. Both coaches, Coach Salisbury as well as Coach Ficca. You're 6'10", you're a big body. You got playing time last year, so you know that those guys mix it up with you underneath. And you're going to be that power forward. Your role is really increased this year. Got to score points, got to pull down boards, got to hand out some assists. And again, what are you trying to do every practice leading in each game? What is your goal for the season?
My goal for the season, I think I just got to step up and take more of a leadership role with all the young guys coming in. Just taking more of a leadership role, trying to move the ball, and maybe calm everyone down when the other team's putting the pressure on and stuff like that.
And you got David now with you, who's 7 foot. So we got twin towers out there. So you have to feel good that that it's not all on your shoulders right now. You got somebody else that can hold down some of those defensive boards. You could be more of that big offensive putback guy.
Yeah. It's not. I've never played with a guy that's 7 foot, but it's nice.
Takes a little pressure off of you, but let's talk again. Final season here with LCCC as you are a sophomore, but future plans for you after you are done with at least your tenure here at LCCC. Are you looking to kind of stay in the States? I mean, what is kind of the future look like for Hayden Collier?
I definitely want to go D1. That's the ultimate goal, but I think I'd like to go home after this school year and see my friends and family and stuff. But yeah, I'd like to hopefully move on to a D1 school.
What are you majoring in at LCCC? Since we didn't get a chance to chat with you last year.
I'm majoring in social science.
Social science is good. What are the things that you have liked about Cheyenne, Wyoming since you've been here? I mean, when we talk to you guys and the ladies
That's
too.
kind of a tough question.
Yeah, I know it is, because it's like everything closes down about 9:30, 10 o'clock. But I mean, some of the things that you enjoy doing here in town.
I never really got out much my first year here. Kind of just stayed on campus and played basketball and focused on my schoolwork. But it's kind of quiet around here, I guess. It's quite isolated, especially on campuses. Like nothing really in walking distance. But it's just really different. I came from it was like kind of a little town area. You could walk places and stuff like that. But yeah.
Yeah, LCCC is kind of removed from the city. So do you have transportation to get in and about to the city and go to the movies or whatever?
Yeah, I got friends and teammates and whatnot that will give me a ride whenever I need it, or.
So where are you coming from, again, as we talk about elevation out here, and again, it's kind of a major factor, especially with the sport of basketball, again, where, again, a lot of at least heavy breathing and all that, but coming from New Zealand, again, might be at least around kind of sea level, but out here to 6,000 feet. When your first, at least freshman year, was there any kind of difficulty getting adjusted to the elevation, or was it just, again, just kind of smooth sailing for your first season with LCCC?
No, I definitely felt it when I arrived, breathing, and especially when we started conditioning and stuff, I wasn't doing too well, but when we got into the season, I think I was adjusting to it all right.
And this has to be a little different on your body as well, being here in the U.S., and we're on the opposite sides of the equator, because down home it's springtime right now and getting ready for summer. So is it tough getting used to it, or you've been here now a year and it's like, yeah, I wake up and it's dark at 4 o'clock in the morning. I mean, are you used to our elements now up here?
I think, it was a bit of a shock when I first got here, the heat of the weather. I wasn't really sleeping too well at night. And then it cooled down and it was freezing. But yeah, after being here, I think I'm okay with it now.
Do you follow the NBA?
A little bit.
Do you have a favorite team in the National Basketball Association?
The Bucks. Milwaukee Bucks.
Milwaukee Bucks.
Oh, boy, yeah.
He's going up against our Warriors tonight.
Yeah.
Either way. But is there any kind of player in the NBA that you not necessarily try to mimic it again, as I'm talking?
A favorite player.
Again, as you might look towards the Golden State Warriors, thinking of power forwards, again, the big man of a KD. But, I mean, is there any player that you kind of look to maybe kind of emulate play style almost?
Yeah, it would be nice to be able to play like KD. He's obviously able to attack the rim and he can shoot. But, my favorite player is probably Giannis from the Bucks. He's really good at getting to the rim. I don't know, he probably needs to work on his jump shot. But, yeah, I think if he gets his jump shot right, he'll be a pretty effective player.
We got just a couple minutes left here before we let you go. And again, I want to thank you and looking forward to, bringing the men's games again here on 1480 KRAE. I know we chatted one time during breakfast last year on one of our trips, and it was just a very, little chat that we had. But, as I look back on the game against NJC, and you were down there last year, and we look back at all the three-pointers we made by Landon and Elijah and Zaire. They all went crazy that day down there in Sterling. It was a tough game the other night. You wanting to be that leader, how do we get this team ready to rock and roll here Friday and Saturday? You know the customers that are coming in. You saw North Platte, you know McCook, you know what they're going to do. How do you get this team? And again, you are the only sophomore on the floor right now with all the freshmen. How do you get them all revved up for this weekend?
So obviously it's like a real young team. I think the experience, like once they get a few college games experience, which they should be adjusting to it now, I think they're going to be a good team. But on the floor, I just need to calm everyone down. They might be not used to have the crowd cheering for them and stuff like that or whatever. So, and maybe the ball pressure might be a little bit different. So just trying to keep everyone calm on the floor and yeah.
All right. Sounds good. Hayden Collier joining us here on 1480 KRAE. We want to thank him so much for joining us and coming after practice, no less, too, with Coach Ficca on our coaches show here.
Certainly, we wish you the best of luck, at least throughout this season. Again, hopefully you are to move on to D1, D2, and also to finally make it back to New Zealand, at least to see your family in person as well, too. So, but again, Hayden, we wish you the best of luck coming up this season with LCCC.
All right, our final night of our Golden Age of Radio Theaters, as we have Monday through Thursday from 8 until 10. So you had a question mark yesterday when
we have 1 hour-long Sherlock Holmes and then the regular 2 suspense theaters.
All right, so that'll be headed your way from 8 until 10, so do join us for that and the best of the 50s and 60s coming up right here as we get back into music. Don't forget tonight, Thursday Night Football on Fox. It will
NFL Network,
It's a good one tonight. Carolina going up against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Hayden, do you have a favorite football team?
No, I don't really watch much.
You're a basketball guy at 6'10". I can understand.
How about rugby? You watch rugby fan at all?
Yeah. All
right.
All right. Well, he's not a football fan, but he likes rugby. Hey, half of the punters right now kick the rugby style anyway.
Yeah.
All right. So it's Carolina and Pittsburgh tonight from Heinz Field.
How about instead, again, as he's a Bucks fan, they will be on the road in Oakland, California.
They're going to lose tonight. They're going to lose to the Warriors. Yeah. It's our Warriors.
10-1, the 2-time champs.
Well, three out of the last 4 seasons. Yeah.
They should have been
the world
champs.
champs.
Either way, though.
All right, real quick here before we go. On this date in history, what do you got?
On this date in history, it is November 8th. We'll go back to the year 1966. This merger had a little extra help from one president. I don't know.
Well, the president had to be Johnson in 66?
How about I just give it to you because it's going to be a think process for you. But in November 8th, 1966, President Lyndon B. Johnson signs an antitrust immunity to the AFL-NFL merger. Back on this day, all the way back in 1966.